Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the first matchup in Group G. I do believe this is Group G. Yes, it should be Group G. Our two contestants this time around, spawning into the top left-hand corner. And this PvP matchup, the Teal Protoss Pizzas. From Combat Engineers, he goes by the name of WarbuffII. Or Warbuffle. He didn't have enough room for the O. So it's technically WarbuffII. And in the bottom right-hand corner, his opponent. He goes by the name of PatrickHenry. PvP as a matchup generally opens up double gateway cybernetics core and then, you know, some lovely adept aggression or stalkers. All things depend. Alright, so now I usually would like to see a little bit more chrono boost play, but now in PvP, I definitely feel you shouldn't really go for a rushed chrono boost to get these workers out. Now, I only say that because if you think about it, later when these adepts show up, should they get to your mineral line, you want the energy to be able to reproduce those probes. However, that's not necessarily the case here. It all depends on what these two players decide to open up with. And we do have the two gateways opening, coming down here. We do have the one gateway. So gateway expand here is going to be WarbuffII's choice of opener versus the double gateway gas opening here. Of PatrickHenry. This is the second gas on the way. Now, WarbuffII has gotten a full scout on this. He's also going to check back here to make sure there's no expansion back here in this pocket expand. And from there, he should have an idea of what he's up to. So you should see the second gateway thrown down here. There's a cybernetic score. At the 150 mark, we should see our second gateway. Or second gas. One of the two. There we go. Second gateway is on the way. Gonna go ahead and bring his probe back on and get it back to work, get it back to mining. Forge follow-up with a cybernetics core. Okay, now this is gonna be interesting. There's going to be some +1 aggression coming out here. He's going to have either some armor upgrades, shield upgrades, or he's going to go ahead and get that weapon upgrade. You know, be able to do some really good quick aggression. Now, there are a couple of zealots here for PatrickHenry on that production tab versus the adepts of WarbuffII. Now, I like the adept choice more because obviously the mobility and you can kite zealots all day long. Going to go ahead and, hey, put those probes in the gas. You're mining 1 of 3. Hopefully he sees that and gets them in there. Let's see how long these probes do decide to hang out here at that assimilator and be like, you want to go in? Nah, you want to go in? I thought about it. It was a good idea to decide to mine gas, but, you know, my processing here is kind of overloaded at the moment. So I don't know whether or not I want to mine gas or not. There we go. He does just start to mine gas. Hold on, man. He was updating Windows. Meanwhile, PatrickHenry is going to go ahead and expand. Now, these adepts can come out across the map here as soon as they're out. And honestly, just bounce back and forth between the natural and the main base of PatrickHenry. And these zealots will be hard-pressed to keep up with that. So, very interesting choice to see a Forge thrown down here. We do have a Stalker on the way. Or Stalkers popping out here. So these adepts will be able to be caught by these Stalkers eventually and just get picked off. But let's see how many probes they get, because in tandem, adepts do one-shot probes. So that is something that you have to be on, you know, watching out for. As these adepts do try to make their way up the ramp here. His shade is up the top. He's just going to cancel that shade. Kind of an awkward miscontrol there, the shade versus the adepts. See exactly what he decides to do. Here we go. He's going to throw these shades to try and get to the main base. PatrickHenry going to respawn. He should cancel these shades. He shouldn't finish up. Oh, they do finish up. He needs to get in here and find some damage here before he loses these 2 probes. 1 probe falling down. 2. Trying to shade out. However, these adepts should indeed get picked off here before that shade does finish up. So 2 probes for 2 adepts. Not exactly the kind of trade I'd be looking for. But we do have a Stargate back home. Twilight Council coming down here for PatrickHenry. The Stargate choice is going to be very interesting to see. As he will be able to harass and, you know, be very annoying with these Phoenixes. And we do have both players playing pretty solid right now. You know, it's just a macro game on both sides. Very interesting choice, you know, the way the Forge came down here. Both players showing exactly what their style is. He does finally go ahead and warp those warp gates. He does have the warp gate tech out now. WarbuffII does have a Twilight Comms of his own. He's researching charge. But looks like he wants to go ahead and move out with these Phoenixes. I mean, I would. I mean, you have the mobility of these Phoenixes to get in here and do even more economic damage. But he's going to go ahead and start his third base. So WarbuffII going up to that third base, wanting to play the later game. PatrickHenry also just kind of hanging out here. He's going to go ahead and throw down a couple cannons at the front. No third base yet down for him as well. Now, again, on Neon Violet, we do have the lovely pachinko slots. A lot of units are going to have to go through. Plus, I never actually look around enough. Like, I love the ETC. Like, right here. Hot Milk. Elite Tauren Chieftain. Space Cow. And there's all these like one map I actually like to look around on a lot because, you know, there's just so much you miss around the map if you don't actually look. All men, one man. I don't know what the bottom of that says. Calvin Clone. Guess it's a cloning company. But we do have the Phoenixes moving out across the map here. Going to come out here and try and find as much damage as they can. I mean, there are stalkers out here. There's no blink done just yet. At least I don't think there's a blink nose charge. Now these Phoenixes will be able to just one-shot these probes and keep moving. He's just going to keep picking them up and keep finding that damage. 4 have gone down so far. Now we're up to 5. Stalkers are coming in here to try and deal with these. But again, the mobility of these Phoenixes will just keep them alive. These Stalkers would be hard-pressed to keep up or catch up to them. The cannons here in a really good position to kind of catch some of these. Going to lose one of them to the cannons. Finding a little bit of worker damage there. He puts WarbuffII ahead at 54 with 31 workers. And PatrickHenry really needs to catch up in the economic game. That third base being done for WarbuffII means he's going to be in a really good position. He's going to add on a few more gateways. He's continuing with that Phoenix production. So it looks like he's going to go charge lot Phoenix. Because he did pick up charge. Now he is getting blink. I wouldn't keep these Phoenixes back home for too long. I would, you know, give them energy, sure, but move back out across the map. Get your damage done with the Phoenixes while you can. Because we do have the Gateway Explosion back home for PatrickHenry, who looks like he just wants to max out on Blink Stalkers and push across the map with some 1-1 upgrades. Now 2-2 is on the way, even with air upgrades on the way here for these lovely Phoenixes. They do show themselves. It means, here we go. Blink is not done just yet, so he can get in here and start to clean up and work these probes. And that's going to put PatrickHenry on dire straits as far as economy goes. I mean, he's losing all his workers here. They're just Phoenix harass. So these Phoenixes are paying for themselves quite a bit. But he is kind of losing a bit of them through a sloppy micro. But he is getting economic damage done. Now, PatrickHenry does go ahead and take this third base in the back. So he is wanting to go ahead and get that third base economy going. But now that's only a half base. So there's only enough workers or enough nodes here for 8 workers. So it's kind of like a half base. Now, WarbuffII is going to go ahead and expand for a 4th on the low ground. And honestly, this expansion back here is kind of a, oh crap, I need the expo. Or, you know, panic button expo. Again, PatrickHenry did just come in here and lose a lot of his probes. 24 probes have died this game to this Phoenix harass. And there's still enough energy here for him to, you know, proceed over here to the natural base and start cleaning that up as well. Now, this is an oversaturated natural. The third is done, so he should go ahead and transfer some of these probes. But again, the Phoenixes are coming back around to make another pass. Still no cannons in the main base. I love the fact he got cannons at the front here to defend against any kind of aggression that came up at the front ramp, but he didn't think about the back. Like, he didn't throw down any cannons. I mean, he could certainly afford a couple cannons or even some more Stalkers here. You have Blink done, so you know you will be able to catch these Phoenixes with the Blink Stalkers. But outside that, just confused with what he's got in store here. He does warp in quite a few Stalkers at the front. Now there is a situation that's kind of awkward to be in, and that's if your opponent is on 2 base and decides to push into your 4 base aggression, and you have way too much economy but not enough army to defend. But in this situation with PatrickHenry, it's going to be a hard press. It's going to be an uphill battle for him to make a comeback. As WarbuffII has continued to scout these Phoenix and just see exactly everything that is on the map. But here we go. He is going to move in here once again with these Phoenixes. Probably make his way into that natural. Hope he doesn't fly over the cannons. Not sure what exactly was blinked there. But here we go. He should see a blink underneath these Phoenixes. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Keep them alive. 4 kills on one of those. Here we go. He's going to lift all these probes up at a blink forward and a heartbeat. He does get some more damage and makes it out. He did kind of bait the blink, so these Stalkers aren't able to keep up very easily. And this is why Phoenixes in PvP are scary, guys. Because if you don't have Phoenixes of your own, how do you answer Phoenixes? Now, naturally, PatrickHenry needed some cannons in the main base here to really be able to defend that. Now, he does finally realize, maybe I should go ahead and throw down some cannons. He is getting a pylon and maybe a Stargate. But one behind, Dark Shrine. Now, there's absolutely no detection here, so these DTs may be able to get quite a bit of damage done, but the carriers are out. So the carriers are moving across the map here. The 2 more Stargates are being thrown down. 3 Stargates. He doesn't have the economy for this. What he's doing here, he does not have the economy for it. Poor Oracle. Gets a tag on that army, but didn't deserve that at all. Just wanted to throw down a couple stasis traps. But now that the sentries are here, the army of WarbuffII is here. He's done enough damage. He's just going to go for it. Network error. Did you crash? Oh, you didn't crash. Okay, so we're still here. OBS, quit triggering me like that, man. That's fine. I don't need to see my stream to know that it's working. Anyway, here we go. He's blinking in here. Going to take care of that one Oracle that was trying to do some damage. It did get a scout in all these Stargates. But the Stargate tech is a little too late. And WarbuffII is just going to be able to keep pushing forward here. 12 minutes into the game. Carrier tech is out. There's not going to be enough here for PatrickHenry to defend with. Try as he might. These Stalkers just going to get picked up and cleaned up little bits at a time as these carriers do continue to push forward into that natural base. And WarbuffII is showing exactly how to deal with this. I mean, he does have quite a few Stalkers here, and now that I think about it, these carriers are starting to run out of interceptors. And there we go, Guardian Shield being thrown down here. Going to be able to soak up some of that Stalker damage. And now that all the Stalkers are dead, 86 to 12 in army supply is not going to cut it as your natural base does end up falling. And WarbuffII is going to sit pretty here and just continue to rally more and more carriers across the map. That one, oh, I thought there was a DT in the base over there, but it's an observer. And PatrickHenry was just trying to, you know, just play a game, like play his game, but it's not going to happen, man. You got to be able to adapt on the fly. And he tried going DTs. I mean, he did identify there's no detection, but GG is going to get called out. And WarbuffII will secure himself that 1-0 lead in this series. Almost hit stop streaming and stop recording. That would have been bad. So let's go ahead and move into game number 2. As we once again travel to the Odyssey LE. And again, this is one of those matchup guys that is not much we can do about the JSL. You are going to wind up having to play an opponent that is vastly superior to you in your skill. And that's exactly what's happened here, as we do have the Platinum player spawning into the top left-hand corner of Odyssey LE, currently up 1-0 in the series. He goes by the name of War Buffalo. And in the bottom right-hand corner of Odyssey LE, looking for another day at the resort, we do have the blue Protoss pieces of PatrickHenry. Whoosh! Now, let's see what these two players have in store for us here. We have a gateway on the way. The gateway on the way is on both sides. So already, very identical builds coming out here. No gas starting up just yet for War Buffalo. There we go. Gas, as I say that, gas doesn't get thrown down. I'm just a little curious as to what's going to happen here. Do see War Buffalo coming out here with the scout. Going to get over here and see exactly what his opponent has in store for him. Or will he do something super cheeky? There's only one pylon. I say that there's only one pylon in the main here, but the second one does get thrown down here. It can be used to hide some tech in the back. Now, Cybernetic's core should be thrown down. There we go. As we do have our lovely probe. The teal probe is coming up here to scout the blue probe. Let's see what the blue probes are doing. War Buffalo gonna go, alright, I see what you got, and just back on out of here. Hey, if you throw down a pylon up here, I'm really gonna be curious. We get Cybernetic's core and a forge follow-up for PatrickHenry. Now, the forge can be delayed for quite a while before you need a forge. That forge should be a gateway. It should be on 2 gate right now, if you're not going to expand. As War Buffalo does indeed go down and throw down his natural expansion. Now this probe is off to a very interesting position on the map. Moving his way up here to the top right hand corner. Now this could be for checking for some proxies. Make sure there's nothing too cheeky going on here. Or would he go ahead and throw down the Stargate or something over here? That would be very interesting to see, is a Stargate thrown down in this section of the map. Just to kind of hide it. We do have PatrickHenry moving out across the map here, going to get a scout off of his own. Probius continues to scout around the map and see exactly what his opponent could be up to, looking for any kind of cheeky expos, any kind of cheeky proxy pylons. Boom, 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 boom. Gotta love that Terran soundtrack in a PvP. So anyway, both players just kind of playing that passive game once again. We should see quite a bit of an explosion here in the aggression here very shortly, I would imagine. I mean, just kind of hanging out. The depths are going to pop out here. We do have a robo finishing up and a shield battery. Observer is on the way. Second gateway for PatrickHenry is going to finish up here. Still no expansion. As I say, he's going to go throw it down now. A very roundabout way to kind of play a very similar strat to your opponent, like a similar build. The only real difference here is we see a Robotics facility versus the Forge of Cybernetics core. And 2 more gateways on the way. There's also a shield battery up here in the main base of PatrickHenry. It's just kind of like he's playing a mocking game. Like, you know, you build a shield battery, I'll build a shield battery. You build a robo, I'll build a robo. We don't see any robos. Like, oh, maybe a shield battery is a good idea in the main base. I don't know. And War Buffalo does have this observer kind of hanging outside his base here. Make sure there's nothing cheeky hanging out. Warp Prism coming in here. A couple more gateways as well. Looks like he's going to kind of perform a bit of a... There we go. He's going to load up and head out across the map. Now, with this Warp Prism, he can also juggle these Stalkers. He can also very, very easily warp in more Stalkers across the map. Now, Twilight Council is on the way for PatrickHenry, and he doesn't have the warp gates here. He has 2 gateways that aren't warped yet. He needs to go ahead and warp those. Probe, go do stuff, please. You're idle. Don't be idle. Go mine and do probe things. We do have quite a bit of a probe transfer to the natural. I mean, okay, sure. Sure. Get that return value down here in the main base, but here we go. These Stalkers going to unload in the main. And this Artosis pylon going to unpower all these gateways, including that shield battery. Now, shield batteries can hold this pylon, but only if you tell them to. A couple of sentries also warped in here. Going to unpower these gateways, and there's nothing left. I mean, 3 gateways unpowered. 1 gateway is not going to cut it here against his aggression. Guardian shield can be activated here. He's trying to focus down that warp prism. Very good control that you go after that warp prism, but all in all, I think this is a little bit too much here in terms of WarbuffII's army. He's going to be able to siege that warp prism up once again and put it in that pylon mode and warp in a couple more stalkers. And this should end up closing out this game. I mean, there's just nothing here. Like I say, you can go ahead and juggle the stalkers, but that is going to close out the series 2-0 for WarbuffII. Giving him a 2-0 sweep as well. A lot of 2-0s this week. I think we only had one so far.